Hey everybody, it's Greg Rice. We're here in the bucket, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and the property that you're in is getting sold. You're the tenant. This is what that video is going to talk about. What's going to happen to you, what your options are, and what your recourse is. Okay? It's a very scary time. I've seen it. I feel bad each and every time that it happens because typically you as the tenant are left in the dark. Okay? The homeowner, the landlord, the real estate agent, nobody's telling you exactly what's going on. Everybody's just kicking the can down the road to the other person and never giving you a straight and direct answer as to what your future holds, what your livelihood will be. So in this video, I really want to tell you how I see it played often and what the options and things that you can do are. Okay, so first things first. When a property gets sold, you need to look at your lease agreement. Now, your lease agreement is your primary protection. If you have a term into the future, say August 1st, 2022, you're protected up until then, meaning the new owner, the old owner, anybody can't raise your rent or tell you to leave. That's the law. If you have a structured lease term in place until a future date, you're protected. However, on the flip side, if you have a month-to-month agreement, like a lot of tenants do, or even a week-to-week agreement, you have no flexibility as far as being told to leave or your rent being raised. So that's the first thing that you want to do when you hear and when you see that your property is being listed for sale. And you don't need anybody's help for that. That's all you. You have that lease agreement, you signed it when you moved in, and you'll know what that term is. And if you do have that term, say to August 1st, and the landlord tries to say, oh no, the lease doesn't matter anymore, don't let them do that. I've seen that happen. They try to pull a fast one on you. It's not fair and it's not legal. That lease is binding up until the end date that's executed. Okay, so that's your first protection. Second thing is you want to talk to the realtor. Okay, there's always going to be a realtor involved, typically, 99% of the time. You want to talk to this realtor and say, hey, I've been here. I want to continue to stay here. My children go to school down the street. I love it. My rent's paid on time. Can you tell the new owner these thoughts? And that goes a long way, okay? When we see clients buy properties, when I buy properties, I always hear feedback like that, and I'm like, perfect, because I don't want a vacancy. Landlords don't want vacancy. They just want tenants that are paying on time, that are respectful, and appreciate the property. Now, on the flip side of that, if you don't want to stay there, then make sure you give your proper notice. I'll be out on March 1st. I'm all set, thank you. But if you do want to stay there, make it known. So that's point number 2. Now the third thing here is, once the property does get sold, okay, you're on a month-to-month lease, which most tenants are, your rent gets substantially increased from say $800 to $1,200. We see that a lot. You're probably scared, you're nervous. That's 50% increase in your monthly housing expense. That's crazy. You're thinking, what are my options? Well, now, okay, rent relief is your option. That won't last forever, but it will be for now. So if you feel like you're not going to be able to make those payments, you're going to fall behind, you can apply for rent relief. And we'll put the link up on the screen so you can see that. And rental relief is assisting you with typically the entire balance that you owe and up to 4 months in the future. So it's giving you a very nice spread, almost half of a year, 3/4 of a year worth of rental monies that you don't have to pay back. So if you get your rent raised and you're like panicking, how am I going to pay this? Rent relief is on your side for now. However, in the future, when rent relief is no longer an option and you have to pay, you should make plans immediately. Don't let it linger. Don't not pay for a couple months and then get an eviction on your record. It's not worth it. Just tell the homeowner, listen, I can't afford $1,200. Can you do $1,000? Try to negotiate a little bit. Some landlords are willing to do that because, again, they don't want to deal with the vacancy, the painting, the cleaning, the flooring. They'd rather preserve a good tenant. But also, they have to pay their mortgage, so they need that money, and they need a certain amount of money. So you'll want to try to negotiate if you feel like you're not going to be able to hit that new number. And if they're not willing to negotiate, they want that $1,200, you should make prompt plans to move. You don't, I repeat, you do not want an eviction on your record. It's going to stay there for life. When you go to get a mortgage to be a first-time homeowner, that's going to pop up and prevent you from being a homeowner unless you pay it off. But at that time, it's going to accrue fees and interest, and it's going to be damaging your credit report all along the way. So you really want to avoid an eviction and make plans to move out as soon as possible if you feel like the end is near, okay? Just speaking from experience, those evictions on your record are definitely going to hurt you down the line. And now the fourth thing here, okay? New landlord, lease, talked about, rent raises. The last and the final thing is getting a new lease. When that new landlord buys that property, you're on a month-to-month agreement, a week-to-week agreement. You want to lock in for another year, again, to protect yourself. But if he or she, the landlord, doesn't want to do that, now you're back in that vulnerable position. So we really suggest and advocate that you ask for a structured lease term, if you want to stay there, of course, so that you know you have at least 12 months into the future of no rent raises and no termination of tenancy notices, okay? That's coming straight from the horse's mouth here. We deal with it every day, and we're here to help you. We're here to advocate for you. And if you have any questions for us, just let us know. Once again, Greg Rice here at Nexus Property Management, your property managed.